I bought this super cheap DIY soldering kit from AliExpress, and today we're gonna solder it and figure out if it actually works. Today we're gonna take a look at a little DIY kit that I bought on AliExpress yet again. This is supposed to be a little Firefly. It has some light sensors there, you can see it. In this video we're gonna do an unboxing, we're gonna do a building, and then we're gonna test it out and figure out if it's worth buying or stay away from it. Let's figure it out together. So this is basically a small electronics kit that you assemble yourself by soldering all the components to the board. And the idea is that when it's done correctly, the LED will blink like a firefly, and yeah, that's where the name come from. Yeah, these kits are great, and they are cheap, and they're easy way to get into soldering. You can learn very well just by doing these cheap kits. They are only a few bucks each. Let's start by opening it up and see what you actually get in the kit. Here you have me unboxing it. And this is what I'm talking about, all the pieces you get. So you could see there is a schematic there, or drawing, or whatever you want to call it. There is some 3M glue pieces. There's the diode, the vibrating engines, the chip. Yeah, I'm soldering a little bit. That's the adjustment spot. This is the chip. It always comes a little bit bent on the legs. They don't pack them very well, so I have to straighten them out. That's normal. Yeah, you can see the battery holder, and yeah, straightening up legs on the resistors. Just sorting it a little bit. That piece I never figured out was what was for. The one with the legs there. Right above the PCB on the left hand of the PCB. Yeah, and there's no value written on the resistors, so I have to measure them. It seems I always have to. Only once I experienced that the value was actually written on the paper part of it. Here I'm just writing it down. Depend on, doesn't work very well. There it goes. You can see there is a couple of pieces with heat shrink following the kit. There is the up in the left corner, you can see the battery holder and the vibrating engines that's gonna make it move. Just making sure, of course, when I have it on the right settings, then it's gonna work. There's these two just loose. I'm getting frustrated. Sometimes I do. So yeah, that's what's in the kit, and I'm gonna take a quick look at the schematic. You don't need it, but you can just use it to check. The markings on the PCB is quite good, so you don't need this. Now let's put it together. It's actually pretty satisfying to assemble. The components are labeled very well on the board, so you must just match the part with the correct spots on the board. and solder it in place. In total, it took me around 30 minutes to finish this project. Now is the question, does it actually work? Or is it just gonna be a fancy paperweight? There's always excitement about these cheap kits. Sometimes they do work perfectly fine, other times they don't work at all. So let's figure it out. So yeah, here we are. I'm taking a look at it and just showing it off again. As you can see, it's all done, soldered, filled. And now we're gonna try and turn it on and see how it behaves. Yeah, some loose plastic from the plastic shell. I should have removed that, but here you can see it vibrates, it moves. I'm shining some UV light on it, just because that was the only light I had. And I can see it seems like it only responds to when I'm shining a light on one of the photocells. I'm trying to see if that blue light is actually a sensor. When I tested it earlier, it actually moved away from the light, so I don't know why it doesn't do it. It seems no, that's just random. Yeah, now I don't know why it doesn't behave the same now as when I tested it earlier. It's maybe a weak battery. I didn't have another battery, so I couldn't check it. But now I see that it only reacts to light on one of the photocells. And I continue to try and see if it will move away from the light again. It doesn't stop, it's just that it stands still and vibrates sometimes, so I have to give it a little nudge. Here I'm gonna try to adjust and see if it changes. So yeah, it didn't seem to work do any difference. Again, I'm checking to see if the blue LED is actually a sensor or something that reacts to light. It doesn't seem to do that, so yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm getting it. Yeah, I think I'm happy there. Back to same it was from the package. Now I'm gonna try to turn off all the lights and see if that helps. what I figured out by doing that is that it seems to be the opposite, as it only works when I'm shining light directly onto it. When I'm taking the light away, it stops. So it changes behavior, it seems like. Yeah. No, my testing is coming to an end. I don't know if I'm quite happy with it, but yeah. There we have it. Was it worth it? Well, as you could see, the LED didn't blink as it's supposed to. So, yeah, it usually is a hit and miss with these kind of kits. But yeah, it's a nice practice board. And for me, at least, it's worth it. It was only a few bucks. So you get a lot of stuff with it for just a few bucks. And it's a good practice kit. So yeah, for me, it was worth it. So let me know in the comments if there is any other small DIY soldering kits you would like to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.